Jeff does this right, he should be super vertical, like this Achieve Fitness pen. All right, go. Decent. Oh, nice. Love it. Jeff Smith, everyone. So Sarah, can you tell us a little bit more about that book you've been reading?
So I read this book, Peak. It's by Erickson and Poole. And so it basically debunks this idea of natural talent. So a lot of people think, you know, a lot of professional athletes, professional musicians, or people who are really excel in their field were born with this natural talent, and that's why they've been so successful. When in reality, these people have been proven time and time again to have created their own potential. And how do they do that? Is they do that through mindful practice and hours upon mindful practice.
Do you have any examples of how to achieve that mindful practice?
To achieve that?
Yeah.
Yes. So there are 5 steps. There's actually 4 in the book, but I kind of added on my own 5th one. So I'm gonna read them here because I couldn't quite memorize them. But so the first one is to continuously push beyond our comfort zones in a focused manner. 2 is create goals that keep us pushing to just be a little bit better. 3, have a way in which to monitor or measure progress. 4, find different ways to keep up with motivation. That one can be a tough one. And then mine is think about what you are doing while you are doing it. Okay guys, so I want to go over number 5. Think about what you are doing while you are doing it. So when you come in as a beginner, oftentimes you think about, okay, these are the steps, this is my stance, this is how I squat, okay, awesome, I have it down. And then, you know, after a while of practice, you sort of forget about it and you're just going through the motions. But we never really want to stop thinking about what we're doing. We continuously can get ourselves getting better and better and better. So let's take, for example, a squat, a really basic movement, right? So while I'm going to do a barbell squat, for example, I might first think about, okay, where are my hands going to set up? What is going to be my routine before I even get into the squat? So the routine of having go through one step to another has proven to be really beneficial for a lot of athletes and a lot of people creating a good, strong fitness journey. So I'm going to get my hands set up here. And then the second step might be I'm going to get under here. I might be thinking about squeezing my shoulder blades. I'm going to think about bar position, so whether it's high, whether it's low, whether my hands are out far, whether they're in near, what feels best here. So then I might go to my feet. So are my feet in a good stance? Do they feel locked in place? Or am I here? Am I feeling really wobbly? Is this not feeling so hot? So I'm going to get myself into a strong position and then stand straight up. Once I'm here, again, I might think back to my feet. Are my feet gripped into the ground? Is that space even? Do I have one side kind of shifted to the other? I haven't even squatted yet, and I've already had a million thoughts going through my mind. So next, I'm gonna go into my actual squat. So as I squat, there might be a couple things you think about. Depending on your stance and how you feel most comfortable, you might wanna think about your hips going out first and squatting down nice and low. Or for me, I feel more comfortable with my hips going, kind of dropping straight down, and my knees going a little bit more forward. Are you sort of arching your back and doing your squat, or are you keeping yourself in line as you drop down? Okay, so I just mentioned a ton of things you can think about, and your brain's probably going a little bit crazy. So I think the best thing to do is talk with your coach about maybe 1 or 2 things that you can focus on. Then after focusing on that, you can then go to another thing to focus on a little bit more. One skill will pile on top of the other, and you're just gonna continue to get better and better. A couple words to remember to help you out with this is focus, feedback, fix it. If you continue to repeat that over and over and over again, whatever you're doing, you're just gonna get better and better.
Okay, so is it like the 10,000 hour rule in Outliers, where the more practice you accumulate, the better you get at it?
So I'm actually really glad you asked that question. So these guys who wrote the book, Peak, were actually the ones who kind of found that 10,000 hour rule, but in Outliers, they took this information and sort of misused it. So the 10,000 hour rule says you just need to put in a lot of hours of work. That's not really true. So I can come up here and I can do 1 million squats, or same thing, like I could shoot 1 million free throws. And if I'm not really thinking about what I'm doing, I'm not gonna get any better at it. I'm just gonna spend a lot of time squatting or spend a lot of time shooting baskets. That doesn't mean I'm gonna get better. So what I actually need to do, it's better to spend a little less time and have it be more thoughtful than to spend a ton of time just going through the motions. So for example, with a squat, if I just go up here and I do whatever, and I kind of squat and I sort of do this and I do that, and it doesn't really look all that great. But if I'm going up to it and I'm being more mindful, like I showed you before, my squat's going to improve at a much faster rate than if I was just to go through the motions. So to answer your question, way more about quality than quantity.
And switch sides.
Lindsay, can I get a high five?
Is that it on?
You're in the vlog.